everybody, in this video we're going to learn about how to calculate OR probability. So take 3 deep breaths and let's make this math easy. All right, so let's say that we wanted to draw a card from a standard deck of cards, and we wanted to find the probability that we draw either a red card or an ace. So one way that we could calculate this is we could just calculate the total number of outcomes, which in this case would be 52, and then we could count the number of favorable outcomes. So we have 13 diamonds, which are red cards. Then we also have 13 hearts, which are red cards. And it said it could either be a red card or an ace. So we would also want to count these 2 black aces because it could be a red card or an ace. And so the total number of outcomes that we have are 13 plus 13, which is 26, plus our 2 aces, which would give us 28 out of 52. So this is one way that you can calculate it. Another way that you can calculate it, though, is you can find the probability of each of these individually and then subtract any overlap that they have. So for example, the probability of drawing a red card is 26 out of 52. The probability of drawing an ace is 4 out of 52, so you could add those 2 together. But notice if you do 26 plus 4, you get 30, and our answer should be 28. And so the reason why those don't match is because these 2 aces were double counted. And so what you do is you subtract the thing that you double counted, which in this case would be the number of cards that are red and aces. So we would subtract those 2 cards because we essentially double counted them when we counted all of the red cards and all of the aces. And when you subtract that overlap, then that gives you the same answer, 28 over 52. So the formula for OR probability is that the probability of event A or B happening is the probability of A plus the probability of B minus the probability of both of them happening, because the place where both of them happens is where you'll double count or there's like an overlap between the 2 events. So why don't you go ahead and try applying that to these 3 situations. So as a reminder, the formula is the probability of A or B is going to equal the probability of A plus the probability of B minus the overlap, or the probability of A and B together. So pause this video, practice it on these 3 problems, and then restart it to see how I would solve these. All right, so on this first one, we're trying to find the probability of choosing a random student who is female or that the student's favorite color is blue. So the way we would calculate this is we would say, okay, well, the number of females we have is 11 out of the total number of students, which is 28. So that's the probability of the first one. Then I would add the probability of choosing a student whose favorite color is blue, which is 8 out of 28. And then I need to subtract the probability of choosing a student who is female and their favorite color is blue. So I'm going to subtract 5 out of 28. And when I add those together, 11 plus 8 is 19. 19 minus 5 is 14. And so I would get 14 out of 28. Now, you could also calculate this by just saying that I have 1 plus 5 plus 3 plus 2 females. And then I would also want to count these 3 males whose favorite color is blue. And you would get the same answer because 1 plus 5 is 6, plus 3 is 9, plus 2 is 11, plus 3 still gives you 14. So you can calculate it either way. You can calculate it with the formula, or you can just look at how many situations meet the criteria. But the calculation is basically doing the same thing. because this 11 out of 28 was basically adding up all of these students. The 8 was adding up all of these students, and then these 5 got double counted because they're both female and their favorite color is blue. So we subtracted the double counting. And so that's what's happening there. So let's do the next example where we calculate the probability of getting red or yellow. So the probability of getting a student whose favorite color is red would be 5 out of 28. The probability of choosing a student whose favorite color is yellow is 10 out of 28. And the probability of drawing a student whose favorite color is red and yellow would be 0 in this case, because you can't have a favorite color that's red and yellow at the same time, because they could only choose one favorite color. And so in this case, this probability would be 15 over 28. And you can see that makes sense because these 3 students, these 2 students, these 2 students, and these 8 students, if you add them all together, that would be 15 out of the 28 total students. And then for the last example, if we want to find the probability of choosing a student who is male or their favorite color is green, we would say, well, the probability of choosing a male student is 17 out of 28. And the probability of choosing a student whose favorite color is green is 5 out of 28. And then we would subtract the number of students who are male and their favorite color is green, which is 4 out of 28. And when you add all of that together, 17 plus 5 is 22 minus 4, that gives you 18. And so you'd get 18 out of 28. And again, you could calculate this by adding up all of the male students and then adding the one female student whose favorite color was green. And you would still get the same answer of 18. So that's how you calculate OR probability. If you have any questions, let me know, and I hope you have a great day.